In this episode we're going to take you around Glastonbury. We're going to go to Glastonbury Abbey, Chalice Well and up the Tor and show you all around. Glastonbury is only about a 20-minute drive from Tracts and Cream and it's an amazing place to visit, so have a watch the video and we hope you enjoy it. Our first stop on the Glastonbury tour is Glastonbury Abbey. So we're going to take you in and show you around. So this is St Patrick's Chapel, it's the first thing you come into. It's got some beautiful hand-painted areas on it and a lovely stained glass window. So we know that Glastonbury is absolutely steeped in history, and Glastonbury Abbey is the earliest Christian monastic site in Britain, and by Doomsday it was the wealthiest abbey in England. So obviously King Henry VIII completely ruined it, and half of Glastonbury Abbey is in the road to Wells, having made the road, which is utterly devastating, but at least we're still able to go around and have a look at it now. And you get a kind of vast scale of how absolutely massive it must have been back in the day. I would say Glastonbury Abbey is most famous for its connections to King Arthur. Apparently monks in the 12th century were said to have found King Arthur's grave here. That's how I think how Glastonbury's become such a place that people are drawn to, maybe because of the connections with King Arthur and also connections with
What was it? I thought it was to do with Joseph of Arimathea and his connections with Glastonbury, and that's why Glastonbury became one of the largest spiritual hubs. No, I have no idea.
So this is a site of King Arthur's tomb. In the year 1191, the bodies of King Arthur and his queen were said to have been found on the south side of the Lady Chapel. On the 19th of April 1278, their remains were removed in the presence of King Edward I and Queen Eleanor to a black marble tomb on this site. This tomb survived until the dissolution of the abbey in 1539.
So apparently the reason why the abbey grew so big in it is because the monks created myths and legends to attract more people here. I believe at one stage there was over 1,000 monks serving all the pilgrims coming here, so this grew really, really big.
You can see the kind of vast scale of it from the very end of it here right through into the distance, which we'll take you to in a second. There's 36 acres of parkland around to enjoy at Glastonbury Abbey, and they've also created a little wildlife area here in the woods, which we've never seen before actually, so it might be a nice place to bring the kids for a little wander in the summer. I think they think they're getting fed, but they're not, because I haven't got any food. Sorry duckies. They must be the carp, are they?
I'd imagine they must be the carp. I know nothing about fish though. But, wow.
They look like they're hungry. Look like those ducks.
Yeah.
So the monks built a well called Chalice Well, which we're going to take you to as part of our Glastonbury tour, and they then redirected the water from the well to the abbey to give a supply of water and a supply of water for drinking and cleaning. So that's how the pond ended up here. So this part of the grounds is actually quite a big cider orchard. So there's a lot, I don't know what variety. Obviously we're in November so you can't see the apples, but yes, I would like to know if I can have some Glastonbury Abbey cider. I hope the kitchen's open. We've had to see if we can head to the monk's kitchen, that's really exciting.
Okay. Isn't there like some pregnant woman's stone there that you need to rub?
Yeah, there's a fertility stone, so if you're trying to get pregnant you need to go and sit by the fertility stone and try and absorb its energy.
Don't be touching it then.
That's not for me, thanks.
What an interesting looking shaped building. I wonder what the big steeple is.
So this is the monk's kitchen, which we hope we can go back.
So where's the fertility stone? Is that it there?
So you wouldn't really know what this was if you just came across it, but we went on a walking tour of Glastonbury and our tour guide told us about it and said that this is the fertility stone, but there's nothing about it, so you kind of have to know. Wow. Oh, good acoustics in here. Fancy a song? La 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 la! So the kitchen was built in the earlier 1300s and was to provide meals for the abbot and his guests. He was obviously head of the richest monastery in England after Westminster, and the abbot lived and dined in great splendour. The kitchen was a statement of his wealth and influence. So the abbot's kitchen is the only abbey building to survive intact. It escaped destruction when the abbey was dissolved in 1539, and it was later used as a fuel store, cider house, animal shelter for a short time in the 1600s. So this is actually one corner of the abbot's great hall, and it's from the 15th century. And it's just like there's just this one corner intact, so you can see that we're still quite a way away from the main building. So we obviously had a great hall just here, and you can see where they've kind of excavated where the edges of the building would have been. A lot of it came because there was a really hot summer and the grass had grown over, but the grass had kind of all gone brown, where obviously there was no soil underneath it, so they then were able to excavate it from these markings that they saw once the grass had died. So this is a brilliant informatory piece here, in that you can see exactly what it would have looked like. So obviously we're here, we've just been to the abbot's kitchen. This is where the abbot's hall would have been, where that corner was. We've got the cloister, the abbey church, the lady chapel, the refectory, all with the tour in the background. So it was just enormous. So this is kind of the main part where you get a feel for the inside. It looks like it would have had a highly decorated interior. You can't quite imagine now, but it looks like it was absolutely stunning and loads of detail and everything. Basically, the birth of Jesus, this archway here.
Which one's the birth of Jesus?
So this lowest archway.
It's the lowest one. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you might just be able to see the angel Gabriel right in the middle there, and there's a nativity scene there as well. So that's what that represents, is basically the birth of Jesus.
I'll have to take your word for that.
So they've made a kind of replica of what they think it would have looked like, which is really cool. So you can see where we were down at the monk's kitchen down there, but then there's this whole other building around there. Plus, that's just amazing. So if you come to Glastonbury, you need to just take a walk down the high street. What's amazing about it is that it's so many independent shops and so many really interesting, unique shops that you wouldn't find anywhere else other than Glastonbury. I love this little area. I'd love to just make some of this actually. So next on our stop is Chalice Well and Gardens. We've actually walked up from the high street, right up the high street, turned right, and we've parked outside the Abbey, but you can park, I don't know if you can see, right over there in the factory outlet car park for the tour and the Chalice Well. So Chalice Well is like the best known and most loved holy well in Britain. It's a very, very peaceful space. I'll be talking very quietly. So it's like a living sanctuary, and it's what they describe it as a place to soothe the soul and revive the spirits. Since ancient times, wells have been regarded as sacred places, giving access to the mysterious and divine. Here we honour, as others have done for thousands of years, the well and the healing and restoration that it offers. Brian is currently gaining some inner peace. Are you feeling peaceful? Brian's going to embrace hugging the tree. I think that's what you do here. You hug the massive yew tree. It is a beautiful tree, it deserves to be hugged.
It's massive and very, very old. Imagine what all it's seen through its time.
This was known as the Red Spring or Blood Spring because of the red iron deposit that the water leaves on everything. Many legends are attributed to its waters, not least among them that they represent the blood of Christ, miraculously springing forth from the ground when Joseph of Arimathea buried or washed the cup used at the Last Supper. You can, and I'm not going to now because it's absolutely freezing, put your feet and paddle in the waters. So the water has such high iron content that they recommend that you drink from the well. I'm going to have a go. I'm trying to make a mess. That's cold. It's very irony. It's nice. So the two circles of the wrought iron symbolise heaven and earth.
And that's a lance going through it to join them together, I believe.
This is my personal favourite part of Chalice Well, is this lovely waterfall. I'd really like it if we could create something like this at home, Brian, yeah? So we've come around the corner from Chalice Well and the entrance to the tour is up there, but we've just come to this area which is White Spring. It is closed at the moment. I don't know whether they're going to open it again, but there's you can hear the spring water and it's all flowing right under through here, and then down. This is where the road is always has water running down it right through the drains, because the drains here are completely overwhelmed. Anyway, I digress. A few years ago we came in here on our tour, and it was really interesting in that there was a lot of naked people.
No, there weren't naked people when we came.
I think there were some naked people.
Were there?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Just relaxing in the freezing cold water, soaking in the spiritualness of it all. So yes, it's a very I'm going to say spiritual place. I didn't feel that. Yeah. I didn't feel that comfortable in it. We didn't stay very long, but you might have a different experience if you come here. Right, now onward up the tour. So round the corner here, there's the sign for Chalice Well. So this is the easier way. It's less steep and slower and longer. But if you get the park and ride from the main centre of Glastonbury, that takes you around to the other side of the tour, and that's like a short, steep side. So this is the way we tend to come when we walk up the tour. Much easier. Even though this is by far my windiest tour experience. It's 158 metres in here, so you've got beautiful views over all the levels, and back in the old days this used to be completely underwater.
I believe that's what Somerset is, the land of the summer people, and that's why you had the Isles of Avalon, because yeah.
So they're all islands, like Othery village is an island, Middle Zoy, the Zoy meaning isles, the Middle Island, Western Zoyland, the Western Island. So these were all of the islands, all of the levels. Yeah, it's a beautiful place to visit. I highly recommend it. So the town of Glastonbury is down there. You can see how it's sort of sprawled out over this way.
You notice how many different churches there are, or spires.
Yeah, there's loads. And this is St Michael's, which is on the St Michael's ley line, which Barrowmump is, and so is our church in Othery, St Michael's. And you can look at the St Michael's ley line. It runs right from St Michael's Mount in Cornwall right through to Norfolk. We really hope you enjoyed our video all about Glastonbury. Let us know in the comments if you've been here before and if there's anything that you'd like to see a bit more of. I will put everything in the description box about all the different websites so you can have a look yourself. And we hope to see you again on another Tracks and Crew adventure.